Hey guys, it's Jason Tonioli. I'm here with my friend Glenn Rawson, and we just wanted to share real quickly with you about this new book that we've done. It's called Stories of the Hymns, and this book came about from my music over time. I've written a lot of piano arrangement books of hymns, and in those books, at the very top of the music, I would put a little bit of information about where the hymn came from, who the composer was, and try to make the song mean more. And through a lot of things that have just happened to kind of fall in place. My friend Glenn here is a storyteller, and I thought, how cool would it be to tell the stories of these hymns and share the life story behind some of these composers and what part of their life actually caused them to get to the point where they wrote the music. And as I've done research, there's just not a lot of information about that. And so my mom, who's amazing, she used to make me practice piano, but she's really good at researching family history and genealogy, that type of stuff. So I started working with her and then with Glenn as well to put this together. And the end result is this book. It's called Stories of the Hymns. There's over 40 stories in here of just the most iconic sacred hymns. Amazing Grace, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. You rattle off any kind of common hymn and you're going to recognize these hymns, but we've made it into a story. And just want to have Glenn, I'm not much of a storyteller, so I've got Glenn here. I'm like, hey, I got to have you come tell a story. So I'm going to have him share the story behind Amazing Grace. And he's probably going to ad-lib a little bit with this, but this is just give you an example of what's in this book so you know. So here's Glenn, and he's going to share the story behind Amazing Grace.
So first of all, you'll recognize the lyrics, Amazing Grace. It begins this way. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. The beautiful part of that is that first line says that saved a wretch like me. There's a historical irony there that is so powerful because it was written and performed for the first time January the 1st, 1773, in preparation for a sermon in church. But who was the composer? John Newton. When John Newton referred to himself as a wretch, that was not hyperbole. John Newton had been orphaned at an early age, or lost his mother, rather, and when his mother passed away, who was the religious one in the family, he went wild. He became as wicked and debauched a young man as you can imagine. He finally was actually sold into slavery and in bondage in Africa. His father, who of course was still alive, a retired sea captain, finally found him and rescued him. And then one day out on the high seas, Newton is still living the life of a wicked, depraved sailor. And then one day the ship runs right into a storm and they're going to go down. And at that last moment when it looks like all is lost, Newton, somewhere from the wells inside, offers a word of prayer. It latched onto him the faith of his childhood and would not let him go. And as time went on, more and more, Newton was converted until finally he gave up the life of a sailor. He became a minister, a pastor in the Church of England. And when he became a pastor and was given his own parish, people flocked from all around. So many people came to listen to John Newton that they had to build onto his church. He became one of the most powerful clergymen of his time. When John Newton says, Amazing Grace that saved a wretch like me, one of the most powerful hymns of the Savior's atonement comes from a man who was saved by the cross of Christ. That's the story of Amazing Grace.
And there's dozens and dozens of others in this book that I'm certain if you enjoy hymns, you enjoy music, it's going to just add so much more meaning to these songs that you've probably played for years and years. Just invite you to check it out, Stories of the Hymns. Thanks so much.